we're gonna cook is bread and hummus. Are you guys ready? It's just the bowl. We're gonna make the bread. Okay, I'm gonna teach you all how to make the bread and then the hummus. And this is like perfect food. If you know how to make this, you can do anything. If you've never cooked your own bread before, you're missing out. Firstly, I need to find somewhere to put my phone so you can see what I'm doing. I can put it on these rolls of paper. Maybe that'll work. It did not work. All right, I should have thought of this beforehand. All right, I got a substitute. To substitute, we've got a white box, which used to hold a microphone, and an actual microphone box. This isn't gonna work. What if I do it like this? That kind of works, right? As long as it doesn't fall down, we're good. It was probably gonna fall down into the fucking thing. All right, are you guys ready? This is my makeshift bread make stream. So firstly, you gotta make your own bread. It's very important. It's very good to make your own bread. You know, if you haven't been to a bakery first thing in the morning, you know how good it is. So that's why you want to do it. We're going to do the same here. And we're going to make it like a really simple pan-cooked bread, flatbread, okay? And when it's fresh, it's incredible. And it's still pretty good the next day too. And we're going to make hummus to go with it. Perfect, great hummus, very easy to make. Hummus is one of those things where it's like you don't really need to have great technical skills to make it very well, because it's basically just about mixing the right ingredients together in the right proportions. So this is like very nutritious. You can do this for breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever the fuck. This is like my breakfast basically every day. 2 pieces of flatbread with hummus, okay? So now that we've figured out how we're gonna actually film, let's get to making the thing. So yeah, firstly what you need like the most basic white flour. I don't know what you call this in other countries, but here it's called like flour 000. But it's, you know, the most basic flour possible. And you need dry yeast, like ready to use yeast. I buy them in these satchels, like dry instant yeast. And you want some sugar to activate the yeast. I don't know if you actually need this, but the first recipe I ever used told me to do it, so I do it uncritically because I'm basically just don't think for myself. And apart from that, water. So we're gonna fill this cup halfway with flour because I don't have an actual measuring cup. This is a 250 milliliter cup, so it's 125 milliliters of flour. That's more than half, so I'm gonna off screen slyly pour some of what's too much into the box so that I don't waste it. And there we go. It's a little bit more than half a cup, but it'll be okay. Like, it's good to sort of overestimate because you really don't want your dough to be too wet. If it gets too wet, it fucks everything up. And then we'll add some of this. I don't know. In terms of measurements for flour, I don't fucking know. I just put in like literally whatever. So just like, measurements for yeast. So I just put in a bunch of fucking yeast. Don't fucking know how much that is, if it's good or bad. I don't know. I'll leave it to Jesus. Jesus knows best. He'll protect me. Put in my sugar, which I buy in these things because if I don't buy them in these little satchels that like regulate proportions for you, I put too much in. So I need these to prevent myself from basically getting high on sugar too much. Now we put half of this cup with warm water. I'm waiting for the water to heat up. It needs to be warm, not hot, like in between hot and warm, basically. I'm gonna start out with a little bit less than half, just to make sure I don't put too much in. Because as I said, if you put too much water in, it fucks everything over. And then I get a spoon and I mix. Now, I must reiterate here something very important. You don't want to do this in a plastic bowl. You don't want to measure generally with a normal cup. You don't want to use a normal spoon to mix. But this is what I have. And that looks decent. Not too bad at all. Gonna need to add more water, I think. But yeah, overall, not that bad. It's a bit thicker than I would like it to be. So I'm gonna add a little smidgen more water. Just a very tiny bit. A lot of this is eyeballing it. The first time you ever make bread, you're gonna fuck it up completely, so don't be too sad. Alright. Are you hypnotized yet? Good. Stalin was good. The gulags were justified. I put too much water in the end. I should have kept it how it was initially, but I mean, so this is basically as mixed as you're going to get it. So we're going to now put that aside, cover it and put it aside while we make our hummus. We're going to leave it for about 15 minutes, and then after 15 minutes, we're going to add 1 more cup of flour. And if we did it correctly, we won't need to add any more water or flour than that. Though if we do, it's not over, right? With bread, you have a bit of leeway. If you fuck up, you can always add more flour or more water and salvage it. Though it won't be perfect. So we're going to take that, put it aside, and we're going to make the hummus. Now, as I said, hummus is so versatile. Hummus is perfect. You can use it for anything. You can literally just eat it with a spoon. You can use it with bread. With hummus, anything is possible. Hummus is like Zombocom, okay? So for hummus, now I have 2 options here. A lot of the time, like honestly, it's a lot cheaper if you buy dried chickpeas. But can is fine too. With dried chickpeas, if you cook them overnight, you'll get a slightly better result. But honestly, I can't really notice a difference. Chickpeas, you can eat them with bread. They're incredibly nutritious, great source of protein. At least for a vegetable, they're a great source of protein. Very nutritious, great source of fiber. Basically, they're a superfood, as they call it. And with this recipe, you're going to make it fucking perfectly, okay? So, ingredients. 1 can of chickpeas is fine for each. That'll give you about 2 servings, assuming that you eat it as a serving rather than just something that you like dip into every now and again. Or you can cook your own chickpeas if you want, though you don't really need to. I don't really care. We got that. We get extra virgin olive oil. This olive oil is Has. Extra virgin olive oil. Okay? Or as they say in Latino, virgen extra. You get your gigantic fucking tub of imported tahini. Tahini is non-negotiable. Okay? You need tahini in your hummus. It makes it so much better. It's not hummus without tahini. Okay? If you can't get tahini, the only substitute that I would recommend is sesame paste. Now, tahini is sesame paste, but what I mean is roasted sesame paste. The difference is tahini is raw sesame paste. Normal sesame paste, like sesame butter they call it sometimes, is roasted. The difference is huge. They taste so different. So you need tahini. If you can't get tahini, get roasted sesame paste. But either way, tahini is everywhere. There's no excuse not to get it. And this is tahini from Lebanon, which means it's against Zionism, which makes it more delicious. These are the 3 principal ingredients, along with lemon juice. Now, ideally, you want to use actual lemon juice from actual lemons, but because I'm a lazy degenerate, I use lemon juice concentrate. Because it's just so much fucking easier than juicing your own lemons every single fucking day. So I just buy lemon juice concentrate, and this is from concentrate. Any lemon juice that you can buy off the shelf is concentrate. So it's not as good, it's not as fresh. But I don't care. I'm a lazy bastard. And on top of that, we're going to add a bit of cumin. And I don't know what the fuck this is. I think it's sweet paprika. So you want paprika. I don't know. I don't know how to say paprika in Spanish. So I just bought it because it's red. It looks like it. And if you're a champion like me, you're also going to add MSG. Add MSG to everything, okay? Chinese restaurant syndrome isn't real. MSG, always. And of course, salt. So, we're ready to get going with our hummus. We're ready to put our ingredients in the thing. Nice thing you can do with a can, if you're not a very intelligent person who doesn't figure this out yourself, like me, is so you open the can halfway and then just dunk the water out. You should not wash chickpeas unless they're preserved in some sort of preservative other than salt. You should not wash them because the liquid that they're soaked in actually sort of helps you to make helps you to make the hummus smoother. It makes it better. Yeah, these just have salt, which is good. So you do it. You open it halfway like that, and then you just dump the fucking liquid in the sink. If you want, you can leave some of it, though I don't, because I typically add a lot of liquid ingredients being extra virgin olive oil, has olive oil, and lemon juice. So I try to I don't want it to be too liquidy. So I just dump all the liquid in the sink. Open the rest of the can. We cut ourselves on the lid and we dump our chickpeas in container. All right, perfect. And now we're gonna add our ingredients. So a lot of people will like mix shit and then add the chickpeas. I honestly don't see the point of that. It doesn't change anything in my experience. I think that's just the thing that white people invented. We open our massive tub of tahini. Isn't that fucking delicious and beautiful? Look at that. So when you open a tahini thing, you need to mix it before you use it. So I'm gonna do that real quick. Now, depending on what you want with your hummus, you can add either a lot of tahini or just a bit. If you add a lot of tahini, it tastes incredible and it has a much nicer texture in my experience. But, you know, we're talking about like a concentrated essence of like a fucking sesame seed. So this is incredibly high in calories and fat and basically everything that you don't want. It's like fucking shoveling peanut butter into your mouth, basically. So you got to be careful with how much you put in. You got to balance it. So I'll typically add 2 spoons, which is already like 100 calories by itself or more. So if you don't want to be fat like me, put less. If you want like a perfect hummus that'll like make everyone happy, put like honestly 4 or 5 fucking spoons in there. It tastes incredible the more you put. Tahini is incredible. That's why the Israelis colonized Arabia. That's why they colonized Palestine, because they wanted to steal the food. So hold on, sorry, can't see. I put a spoon, 1 spoon. I'm going to put 2, I think. Because this is a special YouTube stream. And normally I wouldn't put this much, even though it makes it great. All right. And now this is the most important part. It's imperative that you lick the tahini off the side of the thing once you're done mixing it. Delicious. And once it's open, you got to put it in the fridge. So remember that. And we add more ingredients. We're going to add our now I don't think about how much I'm adding. I just add until it looks right. So honestly, hummus, the core ingredients of hummus are olive oil, lemon juice, chickpeas, and tahini. After that, you can just really put in whatever the fuck you want. I've tried it with olives before, for example. It didn't turn out that great. I wasn't a fan. Put in some cumin. Not too much though, because cumin is a very overpowering flavor. Remember that. It just in there to add a little pizzazz to it, you know. I honestly don't know why I still have the fucking this in there, but I'm gonna lick it. I'm licking it off screen to save you guys. Truly delicious. Now, let's add some salt. This is 2 servings. If you think that's too much salt, you're a fucking white person. Your name's probably Becky. A lot of MSG. 3 things is what I usually put. MSG greatly enhances flavor. Very important, unless you're a fucking moron. Now we get our lemon juice. Make sure that you're very careful with your lemon juice. If you put too much, it ruins everything. It becomes like a fucking pulp. Let's see how much I've got. That looks okay. We add our olive oil. Now, a lot of people will tell you, by the way, that you need to skin your chickpeas before putting them in there. In my experience, that takes longer than actually making the fucking dish. And the end result isn't that great. So unless you're like trying to impress people, there's not really much of a reason to do it. It does make it better, but only marginally. It's just not necessary. So I put the most expensive olive oil in Argentina. I put it in there. And now we can mix. And how are we going to mix? The best way to do it, in my personal opinion, is either in a food processor or you get yourself one of these things. Like it's like a handheld blender thing. A normal blender won't mix it as well as this. You want the control. A normal blender is good for like a smoothie, but I wouldn't use it for this. Anyway, now we blend. Will it blend? Obviously it will. put your wrist into it like you're fucking wanking. Or if you're Vosh, you know, like you see a kid into it. And I would say, like, most restaurants make awful hummus. I don't fucking know why. The hummus that you make at home, this simple, you don't know what the fuck you're doing technically, it'll be better than the vast majority of restaurants. And this texture is pretty much exactly how I like it. Like, not too liquidy, smooth and nice. It's basically already done. Like, that took no time at all. But I'm going to keep going for a little bit more just to make it a little bit finer. By the way, someone paid me 5,000 bits to do this stream. That's the only reason I'm doing it. I'll do anything for money. So this is pretty much done already. I mean, it doesn't look uniform and stuff, but that's just because we're mixing. I don't give a shit. This is for home. If I wanted to like serve it to people, like impress a woman, take notes, I would like, you know, use a spoon to like make it even on the top and shit to make the presentation nicer. But I don't give a shit, so I'm just gonna do this. It's stuck on the thing. All right, and with these things, these blenders, I don't know what you call them, handheld blenders, whatever. So I'm gonna unplug it. Mine has like a thing where you can detach the head, which is really useful. Ta-da! This only costs $30. So hold on. Important thing. It's obligatory to lick the head. Take notes. Females in the audience, gays in the audience, take notes. So if you're going to copy me at home here, I would suggest you put in 3 spoons of tahini and like a little bit more lemon juice than what I put in. Now we're going to check on our bread. And while we're checking on our bread, what we're going to do is we're going to put the hummus in the fridge. And because we don't have any containers, because we're incredibly bachelor, we're going to cover it with a fucking plate. One of the best things that I could suggest to you is to actually buy cooking utensils rather than using just whatever. All right, now we're going to check on our yeast. All right, it's grown quite a bit. It's got some little bubbles. Everything's good here. So we're going to add the other half a cup of flour and see how it goes. Now we're adding a little bit less than half a cup. I think it's a tiny bit less, just to make sure that I don't put too much in and then I have to add more water. So, hold on, we also need to add oil on this step and we add salt. So first I'm going to add some salt, a little touch of olive oil in a Gordon Ramsay voice. And we add the flour. And now we hypnotize our audience in a CIA approved way. Now, if I did this correctly, this will be the perfect amount of water and flour, and I won't need to add any more water and flour, but I can already tell I need more flour. So I didn't do it perfectly. So I'm gonna add more flour. You wanna get it into like have enough flour, in terms of flour to water ratio, that it turns into like a fairly dry ball. I need to open the window because it's really humid, and that might make it absorb more water than I want it to. Now, ideally, I won't have to mix it for long like this, because what I want to happen is for it to become dry enough that I can do it with my hands without getting them covered in sticky shit. I think I need even more flour, but we'll see. Yeah, this definitely too much water. If I fail to make bread on stream, okay, that looks good. This looks decent enough. It's very sticky still. I'm gonna move to using my hands. Sometimes you gotta move to your hand to get them off, you know. Sometimes the mouth just doesn't cut it. It's still a bit too wet, so I'm going to add a bit more flour, both on the on the dough and on my hands. I'm really regretting adding that second fucking cup. It's way too much, but honestly, I don't give a shit if I waste it. I'm just bringing about climate change a little bit faster. I got it everywhere, but I don't care. I'm a Chad. My maid will clean it for me. My exploited maid. There's a lot of leeway here. Like, as long as you don't fuck it up so much that it's like liquidy, as long as it turns into something that resembles a dough, you're okay. Because we're just pan frying it. This isn't too complicated. It's just like the first bread that you should ever learn to make is this one. Holy shit, it's so soft. This is ludicrously soft. I don't know why, but who fucking cares, man? Let's go. Obviously, there's way too much flour in here, but I don't give a shit. This is what you do when you're a male. Males don't know how to bake. Baking is a female thing, according to Roucherie. So that's why I'm so bad at it. Men just can't grasp how to do it. So this is called kneading. I honestly don't really know why I do it. I just do it because people tell me to do it. So I knead. And while I knead, I like try to move the dough around the bowl so that it like picks up the parts of the dough that are stuck to the bowl. That's why you don't want to use a plastic bowl. Everything gets fucking stuck to it. But it's what I have. It's the only bowl that I have in this house. Because I'm an alpha male. Alpha male rule number 1. Sleep on a floor mattress and don't buy any furniture. Wow, the bottom of this is way too fucking wet. I mean, I'm going to need to take drastic measures. Most of this flour isn't going to stick and it's just going to go to waste, but I don't fucking care. This is how not to make bread, basically. How not to make bread 101 with BadEmpanada. But the end result is going to be fine. This is going to result in about 5 pretty large and pretty thick flatbreads. Generally, you don't want to waste this much flour, but I did, so it's what I'm dealing with. Like, if you need to add flour to save your fucking bread, you do it. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a terrible result. Now we just knead. We don't know why we're kneading. It's what the fucking recipe told me to do. Okay? I don't know science. I sure hope the fucking yeast works and this grows into a marvelous, beautiful bread son. This will be my bread son. This dough will be this stream's bread son. Who needs a daughter? Who needs a son? Who needs a they them? When instead you can just make your own by making bread. Imagine if all the kings in history, instead of looking for a fucking ear, they just made some fucking bread and put the crown on it. Everything would be solved. Fucking egoist. They must have read Stirner or something. No one actually reads Stirner. What happens is they just see like the fucking cool picture of him with glasses and they're like, that guy looks so fucking cool, I'm going to base my entire personality around him. And they grow out of it the next year when they turn 14. I think this is pretty good. Don't know if it's going to get better. I don't know what kneading does, so I don't know how to tell if it's good or not, to be honest. But the dough looks good. We've lost a bit of it, but I mean, it's still good enough to make 5 breads, which is what I wanted. This is thick, solid, and tight. I want to see how thick, solid, and tight this bread can get. You know, it was a rocky road to get here, but in the end, our dough is fucking great. Looking really good. And it's very important that you slap your dough. I don't know why, but it's funny. You know who's boss, huh? It's me. Slap the dough like you would slap that ass if you could get a girlfriend. Alright, that looks like a good ball. We got a decent ball. Decent dough ball, right? So what we're going to do is cover it and leave it here for like at least 30 minutes. Ideally, you'd do about an hour. But I don't have that luxury because I'm streaming. So now that we're waiting for our bread, I figure we can just head to the fucking balcony and chat it up. This is what your Patreon dollars go to. I can buy a balcony and walk around on it, like brooding like I'm fucking Haz screaming while rap music plays in the background. How's there a fucking cigarette here? I don't smoke. How'd this get here? Has the CIA been smoking on my fucking balcony? Has the CIA been smoking on my balcony? They come out here at night, they fucking rappel down and they listen in on me while I stream, while they have a nice smoko on my balcony. Unbelievable. Anyway, look at my plant. It's dying. Should I water my plant? I don't care. Look at my other plant. This is a succulent. It's a succulent. Look at my dead plant. It's dead. R.I.P. Alright, I'm bored. Let's just fucking make our bread now. I don't give a fuck about waiting for the yeast. Alright. Now we're going to make our bread into little balls. Each ball is going to be... Going to make your bread into balls. It's very important. Oh, this dough is epic. I rate this dough 10 out of 10 epic. Now, ideally you don't want your dough to be covered in fucking flour like this. It would be a big coherent ball. But I unfortunately fucked up, and this is what I ended up with. I had to add more flour because I added too much water, and then it snowballed until I added too much flour. But too much flour is always better than too much water. So in the end, you know, who gives a fuck? It's going to be epic and delicious anyway. I'm going to eat this because I don't have standards. Okay, so first we make 5 roughly evenly sized balls. Testicles. Cojones. Huevos. Let's see. This needs to be split into 2. And if it's not the same, roughly the same size as the other ones, then we'll sort of rob from them, take their life essence. This one is obviously extremely tiny, so yeah, I think we need to rob. This one is... it's a bit smaller than the others. Whatever, I'll just make 4 big ones and 1 small one. That's fine. And we've got our balls. Now, what you'd ideally do here is you would use a rolling pin and make these nice and flat. But I don't have a rolling pin, because as you well know, I'm a simp. What we're going to do instead is this. This is a bowl, and I'm going to use the back of this bowl to mold my bread. And I'm also going to preheat my stove so that it's ready and raring to go. Now we mold our bread. Ideally, as I said, you want to use a rolling pin to do this. And you want to stretch it as much as you can get away with without it breaking. Which, because you use yeast, see, it's already kind of broken here. When you use a rolling pin, that doesn't happen. When you use a rolling pin, like, everything ends up perfect, basically. But I mean, part of the character of the bread that I make is that it's imperfect. So that gives it character. We don't want holes. Though, I mean, to be honest, when I'm not cooking for a stream, I make holes all the time and I don't give a shit. So it doesn't really matter. We're eating it with hummus. We're not like putting fucking liquids inside it. It doesn't matter if there's little holes in it. So, we're basically going to do that 5 times. This is good enough. I think it's... Ideally, it would be bigger. This dough is absolutely capable of being bigger than this, but I don't have a rolling pin to be able to do it well. Unfortunately, there is sort of unblended flour inside, but I don't give a shit, honestly. Ideally, that wouldn't be there, but it is, so yeah. And just to compare, next one I'll make will be hand molded. So, we're going to cook in this pan. I'm going to put the fucking bread in there right now. Looking good. Looking thick, solid, and tight. And I'm going to get a fucking, I don't know, I guess a fork to flip it because I don't fucking have anything else. So now we just watch the bread cooking. We're cooking up a storm here, and I'm going to get a plate to put it on when it's done. Very stylish piss green plate. It's the official color. I didn't name it. Don't blame me. Shit, there's a hole. Fix it. Bread, just like women, cannot have more than 2 holes. Very important. Ideally, this would be like a bit bigger, I think. I didn't really make it as big as it could have been, so I'll do it now and almost burn myself. This is incredibly safe, I promise. And yeah, you can see because I molded it on a fucking ball that you have this circle here. So while that's cooking, we're going to go back here and prepare the next one. I'm just going to check to make sure that that one is okay. It's not burning. Seems fine. Yeah, a little bit more on that side, like 20 seconds more. We're going to mold our next. This one I'm going to do by hand, just so that we have a point of comparison. Honestly, I think doing it by hand has a better result overall. It just, like, it's not perfect, but it has more character to it. Hold on. I'm going to put that down there. Let's see how this is. You want it to be cooked. That's not cooked enough. You want it to be cooked to the point where it's like sort of between black and brown. Like not burned, like basically just before being burned. That's the ideal, I think. So we're trying to mold this. It's not going very well, to be honest. You can see in the middle, it's already kind of generating, like, it's not being, it's kind of stretched further than it could be, it should be. So it's not going that great. But I mean, it's going to be fine anyway. Like the bread that comes out of this, it is, for what this took me to make, for being a dumbass with no idea how to bake, like, it is exceptional. Especially when it's fresh. Even like a day or two old, if you like heat it up for a second before you eat it, it's pretty good. It's definitely better than what most of what you can get from bakeries, especially since what you get from bakeries is usually cooked in the morning. So unless you go there immediately, it's going to be not perfect. It needs to be cooked a little bit more. Just like 10-20 seconds more. That looks pretty good. That's decent. Could be a bit wider and a bit longer, but you know, you can say that about lots of things. Penises, especially Hazes. Alright. Came out pretty well. Again, it's not cooked perfectly, but it's cooked good enough. I would fucking burn myself, dumbass. Anyway, so we pretty much have the next piece of bread all ready and raring to go. I'm just going to perfect it a little bit more for when that one's done. So yeah, while we wait for that to go, we'll just hang out. Yep, looking good. That's good enough. I'm cooking bread, he's cooking bread, cooking bread. Do 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 do. Our bread is ready. Bread is ready. Bread ready. Look at that. Beautiful bread. Perfect bread. Next bread on the stove. Ooh. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah, baby. And while that bread is on the stove, we're gonna mold the other bread. Live bread stream. Genuine BadEmpanada confirmed CIA bread tuber makes bread live on stream. Alright, let's see. This one looks, the handmade one, the hand molded one looks significantly better, in my opinion. Yeah, pretty much already cooked on that side. Ideally, I'd want it to be a bit darker, but I don't give a fuck. It's still cooked. And after this, we got 2 more balls. Chun chun chun. Alright, let's get our next bread. Oh, doughy wowie. Do you guys like the contraption that I made to film, by the way? It's 2 rolls of like paper on a box, and then like a microphone thing that still actually has the microphone inside, like a microphone carrying case. This is how real streamers do. Now we got the bread. Just plop it down. Plop the fucking bread down, bro. Oh, I just burned myself. Don't burn yourself. That's bad. 2 more balls to make. You think Caleb Morpin can do this? No. Caleb Morpin only knows how to build cities, but when it comes to making bread, he's incredibly insufficient. It is true. Vorsh has infiltrated my flat, but he left when he found that I was over 18. The people do not like slime. The people do not like bread and genitals and feces. Oh shit, there's a hole in my bread. Hole in my bread. Fuck. At least it's not 2 holes. And especially not 3. Hold on, let's see how our bread's going. How's it going? Is it cooked? Yes. I mean, it's not as cooked as I would like it to be, and I don't give a fuck. It's taking too long. Okay, that one looks more or less done. But there are 2 holes. But as long as it's not free, it's all good. Because as we all know, 2-hole theory is dominant. Women, 2 holes. Simple fucking math. Don't deny science. This is fucking simple Lysenkoism. I want all of you, after this stream, I want you to go out and make your own fucking bread. Slap it. Slap your bread. Slap your butt. How's it going, bread? It's cooked. Fuck yeah. Bread, 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 bread. Triple bread. And you want to not stack your bread on top of each other because the moisture, as you can see, the plate's already getting, like the moisture escaping from the bread is making the plate wet. So you want to try to not make them overlap. Ideally, I'd use a bigger plate, but I don't fucking care, honestly. You don't want wet bread. Anyway. Epic bread. This one's going to be a small one, a little baby, because it's smaller than the rest, but, you know. As I always say, for the infrared hazards out there, doesn't matter if you're short, doesn't matter if you've got a small penis. What matters is what's in here, in your heart. Small kings out there, you are also valid. You don't need to fit with traditional standards of masculinity to be considered valid. It's okay. This bread is pretty soft, but it hardens. So tomorrow it'll be hard, but when it's fresh, it's very soft. So this is going to be much smaller than the rest, and it's a bit thin in places, but I really don't give a shit. So let's check on how our last bread is doing. Our second to last bread, rather. This one looks nice. Oops, I made an indent in the bread with my fork. Epic fail. It's cooked enough. I don't give a shit if these pans scratch. These pans are like worth like 8 cents. I don't care. Am I going to get toxic? Good. That'd be good. If I get infused with toxic fumes, awesome. You guys need to make bread. The girls will have sex with you if you make them bread. Well, generally you actually make them bread after you've already had sex. So that's probably not a good strategy. Either way, that's good enough. All right, let's cook our final bread. Bread, 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 final bread. After this bread, we're going to plate our hummus and bread, and it's going to be epic. I made the hummus at the beginning of the stream, but I'll bring it out so that you Sims can see it. Don't look at my floor, and don't look at my fridge. That's where I keep my cum. This is the hummus. Now, it looks shitty because I need to, like, flatten it. Hold on, so it doesn't look bad. So there's the hummus that we made earlier. Oh shit, is the bread? I hope it's not burning. It looks well cooked. So, if you want to copy me here, what you do is you make like 5 pieces of bread in the morning, and you also make hummus, and you eat it, and then the next day you have it for breakfast again. And it's based and epic. And it'll turn you into a fucking chat. I have to wear shoes so you guys can't see my feet and post them on feetwiki.com. Obviously. So now we got 5 breads. So we're going to get the most recently cooked ones because I like them the most. And we're going to put them on a plate. So we got 3 pieces of beautiful bread. And we're going to put some hummus. Oh shit. On the side. And then we're going to eat it. And this is the finished dish. I call it hummus and bread. Empanada style. God, this is hard to do with one hand. Make hummus for Hamas. More hummus. This would be a lot easier to do if I had a clean, normal spoon instead of using a little fucking spoon. But in this stream, we make do with what we've got. Alright, that looks like it's about half. Or maybe a bit less. I usually try to eat like half today, and then tomorrow I'll eat the rest. This is about, like half of this is like, I don't know, It's like half a can, basically. It helps you shit. You gotta get your fiber in there so you can shit better. Very important. Anyway, that's good. That's good enough. Look better. And then we're gonna show the final product of the stream. The product of all this hard labor. And this is what Chads can do. This is what Mediterranean Chads cook. They cook hummus bread. Hummus and bread. Okay? Look at that. It's incredible. It's amazing. Wow. Amazing stuff, BadEmpanada. Good job. Thank you. Thank you, BadEmpanada, for saying that to me. Let's get in the good lighting by the window. There you go. That's our dish. All done. If you don't know how to make this, you're probably not a Mediterranean, and good for you, honestly. BadEmpanada cooking stream. We've done it. We've made the food. Rise up. Hummus and bread. BadEmpanada style. Beautiful. Arrivederci. Beautiful. Arrivederci bellissimo. The payoff of our making bread. This is the payoff. We're eating now. Bon appetit. Put the fucking hummus on the bread, bro. Put that hummus on there. Look at that. It's perfect. Wow, you gotta make it look nice. Look nice for the camera. Look at that. Amazing. Amazing discolored hummus because the white balance is off. Look at that. Look at that. Delicious. 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 This is why we stream. This is Mediterranean food. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. Beautiful hummus. Beautiful overexposed hummus. Look at that. Beautiful. Incredible. Arrivederci.